Alright, I just want to come on today and make a video talking about how I feel about Season 7, and one of the big changes they're making that I think is either going to be a make or break for this game, and I want to talk a little bit about that in a sec here, but also just want to say, thank you for a great year. It's New Year's Eve where I am. I think it's 30th in the States and EU when this goes live, but hope everybody has a great new year. It's been a fantastic year. We have achieved so much. Twitch partner, many milestones to go, and planning to just have an absolutely massive 2025 as well. I feel like this is really just the beginning of our journey. We've got so much to come next year, and I can't wait to share more of that as, it happens. But let's quickly just jump onto the focus of this video, which is talking about Season 7, because there's a lot of split opinions about this, and I want to sort of give my take and a big sort of reasoning of why I'm actually kind of concerned about what Season 7 is doing. To start off with, the new Outpost Rush map that they teased, we're getting the preview of. That's fantastic. I'm excited about that. That's great. 3.5 years too late, but the fact that it's finally happening is fantastic. We've been wanting this for so long, and I really hope that the preview means it's instantly going to be released like a week later, because it is interesting that it's a preview, but that isn't what I'm concerned about with Season 7. What I'm actually concerned about is the seasonal worlds, which has been a hot topic in the community, whether it's going to make or break the game. And for me, it's not the fact of the seasonal server itself. That could actually be fun for, a little bit, like a couple weeks, and then you go back to your standard world. The problem I have with seasonal worlds is it's splitting up development that we don't have. If you've been playing New World for as long as I have, we have always struggled to get content at a consistent pace, which is a big problem. And now we're doubling down and splitting the development into legacy or more standard worlds and seasonal worlds that are going to be released consecutively with the release of each season. So in Season 8, we might get a more PvE-focused seasonal world, for instance. This is my problem with it. We're splitting up, or the devs are, AGS, Amazon Games, is splitting up development that we don't have. We are effectively going to be getting, in my eyes, less content every season. It might look like we're getting more content, you're getting a seasonal server. Can they keep up with that? We don't know. This is a big undertaking. And I want to drag in another comparison here of a game that I used to play and still do play a lot and have a big passion for and a lot of potential I see in, is Once Human, which is a survival MMO, or similar to Dune Awakening, which is coming out next year, which I'm excited for, and has a lot of sort of MMO progression systems, but also survival elements that has this seasonal world approach. They call it scenarios in Once Human. If you've played Once Human, you know what I'm talking about. That game has this problem. They have PvP servers, or PvP seasons, and PvE seasons, or scenarios, as I said they call them. We're just going to call them seasons as it's easier to understand. So they have these seasonal servers in Once Human, and the big problem with that is they split up their development. This is seen by the recent Once Human roadmap that, in my eyes, is kind of lacking, and I still love that game, and I want to make content on it, and I am going to make content on that game still, and especially if you watch me for that game, I love that game. But it is at a massive cost. Seasonal worlds are such a hard thing to pull off and require serious development costs and serious investment to make it good for the player and have good retention without messing with your pipeline. And this is the big problem, right? New World notoriously has struggled massively at releasing content and keeping players playing. Seasonal servers really have two paths. They turn out to be successful, and somehow, miraculously, the dev team manages to manage their time well and actually dedicate appropriate resources without screwing up development on standard worlds, or the aka main long-term servers. Because, as we can see from this, they're still developing content for standard servers, right? The PvP worlds are going to have these unique rule sets. It's not going to follow any of the same mechanics that you're used to. That sounds like a lot of fun. And they also mention, you're getting the new Outpost Rush map preview, new artifacts, and that's all for the standard server, or the main game, not the seasonal world. So we're getting content for both normal worlds and seasonal worlds. As I said, this is splitting up development, which I don't know how I feel about this. On one hand, if they pull it off, this could be great for player retention. On the other hand, notoriously, if they don't use their resources well, this could be what breaks the game and we struggle to get content at an even slower pace than we have before, which would be, in my eyes, record-breaking in how, like, slow development is. And as an MMO, this is an MMO still. The devs call it an ARPG, which is, in my eyes, just a whole lot of bullshit. It's an MMO with seasonal servers. You know, like Once Human, like Path of Exile. They call it an ARPG purely to cater to the console market, which is smart, as console players tend to not prioritize MMOs, as it's seen as more of a grindy genre, and console players prefer the more casual, engaging games, which New World, in my eyes, is the perfect console MMO. And I believe the significant player base is now on console. I would love to see those numbers. We will probably never get them. Safe to say it's rather a 40-60 split between console and PC. 60% of players, I'd say, are PC. Maybe 40% of players are on console. We don't know the exact numbers. We can sort of draw that data from the beta test we had a few months ago, or 4 months ago now. But I'm very, very concerned how this is going to go in terms of splitting up development. And that's just what I wanted to cover in this video, just giving my take on it. And I also want to quickly note on that the new Musket artifact, on paper, from what that said, is absolutely horrible. You know, cause a bleed on headshot. That's literally a worse Keenly Jagged. If you didn't know, Keenly Jagged is bleed on crit, which means it can be a crit on body. It doesn't have to be a headshot. But the new Musket artifact is only a bleed on headshot. It has to be a serious bleed tick for this to be even slightly good, which is kind of concerning. So I hope AGS doesn't make this a shit artifact. We've already been kind of fucked with the mechanic. Mechanic is not good. Please don't use it. Some of the other artifacts in here are also pretty shit. The bow could give you more options. That could be a fun one. But a lot of these other artifacts are pretty shit. Like the Void Gauntlet, the Ice Gauntlet, the Earring is horrible. The life stuff, however, that could become meta. That could be really good. A finally good life stuff meta. A finally good life stuff artifact. I'm happy for those guys. I hope the Musket is either better than it's said on paper, or it gets reworked by the time Season 7 rolls around. But I just want to make this video talking about, I'm seriously concerned about seasonal servers splitting up development, and effectively in turn, us getting content at an even slower pace, which is a big concern. That's all I want to make this video on. Have a happy New Year's. And yeah, I am very interested to see where this game goes. We've got a big year. As I said, June Awakening is a big thing next year. I am planning to make a lot of content on that game. Whether New World goes somewhere or not, that's to be seen. Same with Once Human. They kind of feel like they're in the same boat, both those games. But again, June Awakening is also on the horizon. And I'll see you next year. Peace.